Have you ever thought about a course, not just as a bunch of lessons, but as a carefully designed building? Well, today we're putting on our hard hats. We're going to explore curriculum design, but we're going to look at it through the eyes of an architect, from that very first blueprint all the way to the final inspection.
It really isn't magic. Whether it's a university class, a training session at work, or even some online tutorial you're taking, there's an actual intentional structure holding it all together. So how does a simple idea become a learning experience that actually works? Come on, let's take a look at the blueprints.
All right, here's our game plan. We'll start with the foundation, the goal. Then we'll check out 3 totally different architectural blueprints, see how they stack up. And finally, we'll cover how to inspect the finished structure to make sure it's solid, using some really cool evaluation tools.
Every great building, and I mean every single one, starts with a clear purpose, right? You design a hospital way differently than you design a skyscraper. Well, in education, it's the exact same idea. That purpose is all about what we want the learner to be able to do by the end. This is, without a doubt, the absolute first step.
And that's where this crucial concept comes in, intended learning outcomes, or ILOs for short. Now, these are not some vague, fuzzy hopes like students will understand history. No way. They are precise, action-oriented statements. For instance, students will be able to analyze the primary causes of World War I. You see, that key word is always do.
So, how do we make sure these learning outcomes are actually solid and not just wishful thinking? Well, we can use the SMART framework. It's basically a simple checklist that keeps our foundation strong and makes sure everyone involved is building towards the exact same clear goal.
Let's break that down really quick. A goal has to be specific, so there's zero room for confusion. It's got to be measurable, so you know for sure when it's been met. It needs to be achievable, so realistic for the learner. Relevant to the whole point of the course. And finally, time-bound, giving it a clear deadline.
And this right here is another brilliant tool for our toolkit. Bloom's taxonomy is a pyramid for a reason. You have to start with that strong base of remembering simple facts at the bottom, and then you build your way up to more complex skills, like evaluating and creating something new at the very top. It's the perfect guide for building learning outcomes that get progressively more challenging.
Okay, so our foundation is set. Our goals are clear. Now it's time to choose the architectural style. With our ILOs in hand, we can pick the blueprint that's going to shape the entire learning journey.
So generally speaking, there are 3 main design models out there. As you can see, we've got learner-centered, subject-centered, and problem-centered design. And trust me, each one is a fundamentally different way of putting the whole educational experience together.
All right, let's put these 3 blueprints side by side, because understanding what makes them tick, their strengths, their weaknesses, is totally key to picking the right one for the job.
First up, we've got the learner-centered design. In this model, the student isn't just sitting there getting information dumped on them. No, they are the sun, and the entire learning solar system revolves around them. The whole curriculum is shaped around their specific needs and what they're actually interested in. So the whole point here is that everything is designed to get students engaged. We're talking about personalization, a ton of active, collaborative learning, and always connecting things back to the real world. In this setup, the teacher kind of steps back from being a lecturer and becomes more of a guide, a facilitator.
Next up is the subject-centered blueprint. Now, this is the classic model. I bet a lot of us grew up with this one. The curriculum is organized around a specific subject, like chemistry or literature or math. The main focus is just on mastering the content of that field.
The big advantage here is just how efficient it is. It's a super direct way to get a huge amount of information across. But, and this is a big but, the limitation is pretty serious. It can easily just become about memorizing facts instead of knowing how to apply them, and it often doesn't really work for different learning styles.
And that limitation leads us perfectly to our final blueprint, problem-centered design. This model represents a huge shift in thinking about education. We're moving away from just passing on knowledge to actively building skills. So it doesn't start with a subject, it starts with a real-world problem or a big social issue.
And this is just such a powerful approach because it is inherently practical and engaging. It really pushes students to think critically, to pull in knowledge from different fields, and to build actual problem-solving skills that they can go out and use in the real world, like tomorrow. So, the curriculum is designed, it's been built. But hold on, we're not done yet. Just like any good architect, we have to do a final inspection. We need to see if the structure is sound and if it's actually doing what we designed it to do. This whole process is called curriculum evaluation. And here's the thing.
Evaluation isn't just some pass-fail test you do at the very end. As you can see here, it's a constant feedback loop. You set your goals, you gather data, you analyze it, and you get everyone involved, from the students to the teachers, to keep making the design better and better.
These inspections can actually happen at different stages. Think of it this way. Formative evaluation is like checking the wiring and plumbing while you're still building the house. Summative is the final walkthrough after everything is finished. And diagnostic, that's when a light is flickering and you need to bring in an expert to find out exactly what's wrong.
So, what specific tools are in this inspector's toolkit? Well, there are several really well-established models for figuring out if a curriculum is effective. Let's look at a couple of the heavy hitters. The Kirkpatrick model is an absolute classic, especially in the corporate world. It's got 4 levels. Level 1 is simple. Did people like it? Did they find it engaging? Level 2 goes deeper. Did they actually learn anything? Level 3 is key. Are they using what they learned back on the job? And the big one, Level 4. Did their new behavior actually create real results for the organization?
Then you've got the Phillips ROI model, which takes Kirkpatrick one step further. It adds a 5th level that asks the ultimate business question. Was this whole thing a good financial investment? It literally calculates the return on investment, the ROI, by comparing the cost of the training to the dollar value of the results.
And believe me, the toolkit is huge. There are other models that help us look at different angles, like the CIRO model, which looks at the context before the training even starts, or the Brinkerhoff model, which learns from both the successes and the failures. The main takeaway is that there's a specialized tool for pretty much any inspection you need to run. So, we've gone on this whole journey, from the foundational goals all the way to the final inspection. Seeing a curriculum as this deliberate act of architecture, well, it gives you a brand new appreciation for the hidden structure behind every course you take. So the next time you're in a class, maybe you'll see it, the blueprint holding it all together.